Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good whatever it is, wherever you are. I'm Teacher Oakley. Welcome to Verbling. In today's class here on Verbling, we are going to examine the past simple verb tense. We'll look at how it's formed, and we'll look at several uses for the past simple. Students will have a chance to form their own sentences, kind of following the examples as we look at the different uses. I'll also be bringing up other very important points to keep in mind when using the past simple. Okay. Let me start by welcoming some students to the class, and we'll get started. Hello, Jorge.
Hello, teacher. How are you?
I'm doing okay, thank you. Nice to see you again. Okay, also welcome, hello.
Yes, hi.
Oh, hi, how are you? Nice to see you.
Fine, thank you. Nice to see you too.
Okay, welcome back. Okay, great. Hello, Eliza.
Hello, teacher.
How are
Good
you?
evening.
Good evening.
Fine, and you?
I'm good, thank you. And Keiko is with us. Hey there, Keiko.
Hey teacher, nice to see you again.
As always. Pleasure's all mine, sir. All right, guys, I'm sure we're going to have others joining the class. In fact, jump on in anytime, plenty of room. Matter of fact, here's Hector. Hello, Hector. Hi, Hector. Welcome to the class.
Hello, Clem. Thank you.
Hello, hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. All right. Just checking. Okay. Great. And also Heidi is with us. Hello, Heidi.
Hello, nice to see you again.
As always, nice to see you too. Okay, let's get started. We're going to look at the simple past, past simple, whatever, doesn't matter which way you say it. It's all the same. First, how it is formed. The verb plus ed, or of course those are for regular verbs. But we also have irregular verbs, in which case, well, welcome to English. There's no rhyme or reason. You're just going to have to learn the irregular verbs as you go along. What's that, Keiko? I missed your message. Actually, everyone, I'm going to switch over to the group chat box right now, immediately. Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay, yes. Yeah, those are irregular verbs for you. You're just going to have to learn them. Unfortunately, the thing about irregular verbs is that irregular verbs tend to be the most common, most used verbs in the English language, so you got to learn them fast. Ha! Okay, let's look at how that looks as it's formed. In a regular statement sentence, you called Debbie. You is the subject noun. Here is the past tense verb called, and subject noun Debbie. Fine. Just as when we use present simple, we have to use do or does. In the past simple, we need to use did. For questions, for questions and for negatives. So in a question, for example, the auxiliary or helper verb did will go first for past simple and present simple tenses. We need to use the variations of the auxiliary do, did, does. Okay. This is past tense. Did you call Debbie? Notice that the the part that's past here is the did. Notice that call is just the regular present tense version, the normal verb. All right, not did you called Debbie, but did you call Debbie? Okay, and then in the negative, again, the subject goes first, followed by the auxiliary did and not precedes the main verb. You did not call Debbie. Of course, most native speakers, when we're talking in a conversation, we would use the contracted form didn't. You didn't call Debbie. Please, when you're speaking, please go ahead and use the contractions especially of auxiliaries, especially not, but we're definitely going to use these reduced or contracted forms in speaking. Okay, let's look at some uses. How do we use the past simple? First and foremost, and most important thing, if you remember nothing else today, remember this. When we use past simple, the idea is, now I know there's past perfect, past continuous, there's other forms where we talk about the past. The important thing with past simple is to note there are various uses which we're going to explore today, but in every single one of those possible uses, the action that you're talking about is done. It's over. None of them extend into the present. Okay, we're talking about a finished action, completed action. Well, here we go. Use one, completed action in the past. Yeah, this is the most basic use, but all of the other nuances of usage doesn't matter. Maybe repeated action, or maybe an action that continued for a period of time in the past. We'll look at those later, but regardless, all of them, the action's done. It's over. Okay, so here we go. Simple past expresses the idea an action started and finished at a specific time in the past. This is key, a specific time in the past. Sometimes it's not even necessary in your sentence structure to actually mention the specific time. It can be assumed that the speaker does have one specific time in mind. All right, let's look at some examples, and then you guys are going to form some of your own sentences. I saw a movie yesterday. All right, here, to clarify the idea that it happened in the past, we have a time word or time phrase. Frequently, we will have a time word or a time phrase to clarify. Okay. Saw, of course, is an irregular verb. See, saw. I saw a movie yesterday. Negative, I didn't. Here we see the contracted form. I didn't see a play yesterday. Last year, I traveled to Japan. Notice when your time phrase is up front, starts the sentence. Notice use of the comma. This is important if you're writing. All right. Again, common to use a time phrase or time word. You're going to want to, if you use it first, or a prepositional phrase to just to talk about the time, you should use a comma to separate it from the rest of the sentence. Last year, I didn't travel to Korea. All right, negative. Question, did you have dinner last night? Pretty basic. Okay. Again, note that the past part is indicated by did. Have is the regular verb. The past tense of have is had. But here in a question, the past part is indicated by did. She washed her car. He didn't wash his car. Okay. This is all pretty straightforward. I think let's give it a try. All right. A finished or completed action in the past. Jorge. Jorge Luis. Can you give me an example of a sentence, please?
Oh, um, I work today by 6 continuous hours.
Okay. Okay. Jorge?
Yeah?
You're getting ahead of the class a little, but that's okay. I work today not by 6 continuous hours. You get the wrong verb here. I mean, sorry, the wrong preposition. It would have to be for 6 continuous
Okay.
hours. All right. Nothing wrong with this sentence. You're just getting a little ahead of the class because we're going to talk about this a little later. Duration in the past. This diagram better shows what Jorge's trying to say. He started work. He finished work before the present. Okay. And this green line would indicate his 6 continuous hours. So you're jumping forward a little bit in the lesson. But, okay.
I can say I work today.
Yeah, actually, yeah, you can. Yeah, here you go. This is it. That will work. That is a complete sentence right there. It's self-contained. It makes complete. It's a complete thought. It makes sense. It has a subject and a verb. Yeah, that is a complete sentence all by itself. Okay. Hello. Where do you go? Hello. Oh, you're here. Hello. Hello.
Yes. Yes.
Go ahead.
I listened for a teacher. Yes, last night.
Wait a minute. Okay. Okay. Well, hang on a second.
Yeah.
If you listen for a teacher, I don't really have any problem. This sentence actually is okay, but I just want to clarify what you mean to say. If you listen for a teacher, that means, yeah, probably you want to use to. You listen for a teacher, you're I don't know, standing by your window, listening for a teacher to suddenly call out, "Okay, everyone, A, B, C, D." You're trying to hear a teacher like out on the street or something. Yeah.
I see.
To a teacher last night, that means you were there actively listening. Not you're listening to them speak. You're not trying to listen. If you listen for something, you're trying to hear it. Okay. All right. Now this is fine. I listened to a teacher last night. Notice that his time clause is at the end of the sentence. There's no need for a comma. If you wanted to put the time phrase at the end of the sentence, that's not a big deal. There's no need to have a comma there. Okay, Eliza. Eliza, can you give me an example of a finished action in the past?
I drive the car 7 years ago.
A good memory. Okay, well let's talk about this. First of all, drive is in fact an irregular verb, so we can't just add ed.
Drove.
You got it.
Drove the car. Oh, it's correct to speak. I did drive.
No, because it's a positive statement. All right. If it's a positive statement, so you don't need did. In fact, did would be wrong. You don't need it. It would be wrong. If you wanted to make it, however, if you wanted to make a negative, Eliza, it would have to look something like this. I didn't drive the car.
Drive the car.
7 years ago. Okay. I didn't drive the car 7 years ago. This is okay. This is a little bit of a strange sentence, of course. Okay, I guess it's okay. All right, it's definitely a finished action. It's a little strange. Well, I guess it's okay. All right, I guess it's okay. It's a little odd because you're flirting with a concept where, you know, it's unusual to drive a car 7 years ago and never have the potential to drive the car again. You know, if you may drive the car again, you'd want to use present perfect tense, but since you do say 7 years ago, all right, it's clearly finished, so it's okay. Okay.
If happen as accident. If happen accident and the person died, I affirm I didn't drive the car 7 years ago.
Yeah. Okay. All right. You're right. Under specific circumstances.
Yes.
Right. This would. You're absolutely correct. It would work under specific circumstances. That's it.
Yes.
Okay. Let me quickly welcome Hani to the class. Hello, Hani. Welcome.
Hello. Welcome.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
We're going to come around to you in a minute. Hello, Hani. I'll get to you in just a second. Keiko, can you give me a simple sentence with a finished action in the past?
She didn't finish reading her book, did she?
Oh, this is a question. Okay.
Finish reading her book. Did she?
Okay, we got a lot going on here. We got a tag question. We have this little thing in the back here, which restates. This is called the tag question. This is the statement. This part at the end is called the tag. All right. So we have a negative statement. She didn't. Got to use did because it's negative. Didn't finish. Right? Regular finish, not finished. That's correct. She didn't finish reading her book. You got to look at that as a sentence. Reading here is a gerund. It's not part of the main verb because we don't have a verb to be in front of it. That's one way to tell, amongst others. Plus, we already have our main verb. And then we have the tag. Did she? The tag always uses the auxiliary. Sometimes it's the verb to be. But anyway, the tag will use the same auxiliary. Since this is in the past, we need did. We need that auxiliary. The auxiliary appears again in the tag. So, yeah. Okay, interesting question, sentence, both. All right, that's great. That works. All right, and we are talking about a finished action of not reading the book. A negative finished action, but yeah, that works. All right. Hector, care to give it a shot? A finished action in the past.
I didn't take any English class the last weekend. English classes.
Okay. Yeah, that's better. Okay. Whoops. If I could spell it, it would be better. I didn't take any English classes the last weekend. Okay. One thing, Hector, you don't need the here.
Okay.
If you were going to say the last weekend of February, for example, then you're being specific, and you do need to say the. Okay. For some reason, this is a little complicated, but when we use a time clause like this, I don't need to say the last weekend, just last weekend. We all know what
Okay.
it is. It's specific enough.
Yes, I understand.
Okay. All right.
Teacher,
Yes.
it could be could it be the last February weekend?
Hmm. The last February weekend, using February as an adjective to describe weekend. I don't. That sounds very weird to me. I don't know if it's exactly. You know, Keiko, to be specific, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if maybe it would be grammatically okay. I can't really think of any reasons why it would not be, but it sounds very peculiar.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay, teacher.
I think maybe technically it's correct, but I've actually never heard anybody say that before. I got a feel like that's the case. Yeah, every Monday in February I have a class. I don't say every February Monday. That just sounds weird, but I can't think of any reason why it would be incorrect. So I think it's just a matter of collocation, maybe. I could be wrong. I'm not absolutely certain on that. I'm certain that I've never heard it before and it sounds odd. I'm certain of that, but I'm not sure if it's okay or not.
Okay, teacher. At least it is not usual.
Yeah, at the very least. Okay. Heidi, can you give this a try? Finished action in the past.
Okay, do you still remember what I told you yesterday?
No. Are you kidding me? I don't remember what I had for breakfast. No. Could you refresh my memory? No, I really don't. Was that your sentence?
Do you still remember what
Oh, that was your
yesterday?
sentence. Oh, I thought you were asking me. Oh, you totally tricked me. Oh my goodness. Okay. Now, all right, Heidi's also preempting a very important point here. Okay, do you remember what I told you yesterday? Okay, there's nothing wrong with this. Of course, the first part we're using, it's a question. Oops, my bad. I meant to put a question mark. All right. Do you remember, this is the central part of the question. This is a question in the present simple tense, but she has what I told you yesterday. This is a relative pronoun and a relative clause in a question. So inside a relative clause, she's got the past tense used to talk about a finished action in the past. So this is interesting. Okay. Well, here you go. Here's how you can mix a present tense and a past tense in the same sentence. All right, nothing wrong with this sentence. Definitely more complex, but it's okay. It's actually a complex sentence. Honey, you want to give this a try?
Yes.
A finished action.
I finished it. I finished my homework and this morning.
Okay.
Can I say in this morning?
You don't need to. It sounds strange. You absolutely don't need it because you've already defined it. When we say this morning, we know it's the same day as today.
Uh-huh.
When we say, and that goes for this afternoon, this evening. I need to go shopping this evening. I know I'm talking about today. I can't be tomorrow. It can't be the next day.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, and I don't need to say in. Okay, I can use this. I finished my homework this morning. Now, actually, honey, I could say in the morning.
In the morning, yeah.
Okay. Now I see. Now I don't know. I don't even know what day you're talking about. See, this is not specific. It's okay. Your sentence is okay, but I need to explain something. If you remember that finished at a specific time in the past, but the speaker may not actually mention the specific time. You have not mentioned a specific time if I use in the morning. This could be in the morning last Thursday. This could be in the morning yesterday. I have no idea which morning. All right? Whereas if you say this morning, I know you're talking about today, earlier today. Okay? You see the difference there?
Yes, I got it.
Okay. Also, one other thing, honey, finished. Pronunciation. Finished. Okay? That's it. The T sound at the end. With verbs in the past tense, I should mention this because we're talking past tense. Verbs that end with a voiceless sound, like sh, K sound, k, ch sound. Voiceless sounds, the ED is pronounced as a T. Finished. So like walk, walked.
Walk.
Because there's no voice to a K. It's just breathing. All right. CH, same thing. Watch, watched. It's just air coming out. There's no voice. Only when we have for regular verbs, of course, I'm talking about regular verbs, not irregular verbs. But for regular verbs, the only time we add an extra sound is with a T or a D. So wait becomes weighted. We add a we add a syllable. We add a vowel sound or a T or a D. So for example, decide becomes decided. Whoops, decided. Yeah, you're right. You got it. So that's it. T's and D's have the extra sound. No other ending adds an extra sound. Voiceless adds a T sound, and everything else adds a D sound. So if it's a voice sound like burn, is N sound is very much voiced. Burned with a D, burned. So a little pronunciation there for the past simple. Okay, here's another use. This is important. A series of completed actions. Notice again, I need to emphasize again, if you look at the diagram, they're done. They're not related to the present. They're over. There is no relation to now, or certainly not the future. We can, and we often do, use simple past to list a series of completed actions. These actions happen first, second, third, fourth as they are presented. So, for example, I finished work, walked to the beach, found a nice place to swim. I know what he did first. First he finished work, then he walked to the beach, then he found a nice place to swim. Sometimes it's very obvious. Look at the next one with times. He arrived from the airport at 8, checked into the hotel at 9, and met the others at 10. Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? Zingio, hello. Sorry about that. I forgot to give you a
Hi,
chance.
teacher. Can you hear
Hi,
me?
Howard. Yes, I can. Hi. I can hear you fine. Zingio, I'm sorry. I should give you a chance to form a simple past tense sentence, a completed action in the past. I should give you a chance to do this to make sure that you can. Can you give me an example?
I killed a bird using a gun yesterday.
Killed a bird. Okay. Sure. Nothing wrong with that. Well, nothing wrong with your sentence. I don't know about killing the bird. Okay, I killed a bird. All right. Using a gun, this is just a gerund clause at the end of the sentence. No problem. Okay. Thank you. That was good. So, a series of completed actions. All right, there's your example. It could even be in a question form, as in, did you add flour, pour in the milk, and then add the eggs? Notice the way this is phrased. Did you add flour? That would be first, pour in the milk, then we add, and then add the eggs to make it more clear. All right, to emphasize the progression of things, what you're doing first and second and third. Okay, there is literally, okay, all my examples here have third, but there's literally absolutely no, if English is kind of crazy, if you want to list 8,400,092 different actions in a row that happen in sequence, there's no grammatical rule that says you can't. Of course, no one is going to read your sentence or listen to you if you do that, because that would take about 3 lifetimes to perform. However, the point being, they don't have to be 3 things. They can be 4 things, 2 things, 5 things. It really doesn't make any difference. I think, does anybody have any questions about this? Because I'm gonna skip it as far as letting you guys try examples, because I have too much to present to you. I have a lot more. Any questions about this before I proceed?
No question. You speak very well. Continue.
Okay. Thanks. Okay. Next usage. All right. Duration in the past. Now, Jorge kind of brought this up a lot earlier. Okay. The simple past can be used with a duration. Normally, of course, whenever we think about duration, we usually are going to think about using a continuous tense, whatever, past, present, future. At least I do. I think duration, my brain leaps immediately to continuous tense. First of all, okay, what is a duration? As outlined here in this little graph, a duration is a longer action. We indicate it with words by using expressions like for 2 years, for 5 minutes, possibly all day, all year. Okay, I think with Jorge's example earlier, I had to convince him to use for. So here's some examples of that. I lived in Brazil for 2 years. Okay. Shauna studied Japanese for 5 years. They sat at the beach all day. Now, can I say they were sitting at the beach all day? Can I use past continuous tense? I don't see why not. What is the difference? Actually, let me write this here so you guys can see it. Hang on. Talk about this for a minute. Okay. All right, let's talk about this for just a second. Let's compare these two sentences here that I've highlighted. All right, they sat at the beach all day, and they were sitting at the beach all day. What is the difference? Can anyone tell me? Is there any difference? Both are grammatically correct. I will tell you that right now. What difference does it make? Anybody have an idea?
I think the second one They finish. They go. They gone to the home. They're sitting for example, yesterday. But the first one, I think they're still sitting on the beach.
Actually, the first one, whenever, okay, I need to emphasize this again. Whenever you use past simple, that means the action is done. It is finished. So actually, the emphasis, the whole reason you use past simple, or a lot of times, is to emphasize the fact that the action is over. Hello?
Yes,
Thanks. Yeah, there was a lot of noise coming from your...
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's all right. Thank you for muting. Thank you very much. Okay. Actually, they sat at the beach all day. You kind of got it backwards there, honey, because that means they're definitely home. Okay. Always, in any of our uses, I'll run through because I got to emphasize this again. A completed
Teacher.
action. Yeah.
I'm sorry, teacher. In the second example, they could be with her legs in pain because of not finish their sitting. Okay.
Well, because of all day, I can assume that they're probably done. But yeah, Keiko is hitting on the actual difference. When I use continuous tense, I am emphasizing the verb. I am emphasizing the action. I am emphasizing duration. Yes, as a speaker, I am stressing that they were sitting. Keiko is exactly correct. You could interpret or infer that they had to sit there all day. Maybe there was something negative involved because they were sitting for such a long time. It is emphasizing the action and the duration. Whereas when we use simple past, we're just emphasizing the result. Okay, they sat at the beach all day. They were there at you're emphasizing the fact that they were at the beach all day. That's it. In the second sentence, you're emphasizing that they were sitting. Not just the fact they were at the beach. You're emphasizing the fact that they were sitting all day. Because we have all day, we can assume that the action is over. The action is finished. Actually, past simple or past continuous, the action should be over. If the action continues to now, that's what we have perfect tenses for. Okay, I just want to. I got a feeling I'm going to run out of time, so I just want to emphasize this a lot. Completed action in the past. Look at the diagram. This purple X has nothing to do with the present. The action is done. It is completed. It is over. Series of actions. You may have several in a row, but regardless, number 3 here in the diagram is done. It's gone. It's completed. It's over. It's finished. Duration in the past, same idea. This may have taken some time, but nevertheless, the green line has come to an end before the present. It is done. It is over. It is finished. Okay, well, other uses. Habits in the past, something you used to do. In fact, this is very close to the used to use of that phrase, used to do something. But still, not anymore. Those purple X's, habit that was over and over, no connection with the present. It's finished, it's over, it's done. Even we can talk about past facts or generalizations, things that used to be true in the past but are no longer true. Notice, represented by this blue or purple line, it was a fact before. It is not anymore. As of now, it is no longer true. So this fact or generalization is over. This is the main point to when you're looking at the past simple, is that this thing is done. Whatever it is, it's got to be done. Okay. All right, so anyway, that's the difference. In this case, duration in the past, yes, we can often use a continuous tense. Sure we can. It's just slightly different meaning. It's like emphasis is different. Yeah. Okay. All right, negative. They did not stay at the party the entire time. Okay, we know the entire time. All right. We talked on the phone for 30 minutes. Okay, using for and a time. Look at this in a dialogue. How long did you wait for them? You're asking what the duration is. Yes, I can say how long were you waiting for them? All right, past continuous. Doesn't really matter. We waited for 1 hour. It is very common, you can do this, it's okay. It's very common to use wait since the verb itself means a duration of time. It's very common to use continuous tense. We were waiting for 1 hour because nobody likes to wait. And usually when we express the idea of waiting, we're emphasizing the verb because we're annoyed because we have to wait. So it's really not that common to see wait used in past simple because usually the speaker really wants to emphasize the point they're annoyed because they were waiting for over an hour. Apparently this person, I would assume, in this example, we waited for 1 hour, I would automatically assume that that did not bother them. Not a big deal for this speaker. Otherwise, for sure, they would have used a continuous tense. Okay, I hope you understand that subtle nuance there, that little difference there. Okay. The important thing here, you really need to use one of these expressions to make this clear that it's a duration. If you don't, it's going to sound weird. Well, no, it won't sound weird, but there will be no idea of duration. So, okay, great. So I get rid of this. I lived in Brazil. All right, terrific. Nothing wrong with that sentence. It just means you're emphasizing the fact that at some point in the past you lived there at a specific time and this action is over. Okay. But it does not have anything to do with duration unless you add the time clause. It can't. Okay. We have no idea how long the person lived in Brazil, for example. All right. Same thing with any of these. They stayed at the party the entire time. They did not stay at the party. Okay, I'm emphasizing the fact that they left the party. That's it. That's the important information there. Okay. I've got a number of... Okay, I still got other stuff I have to talk to you guys about. There's a lot here for past simple. All right. We should look at this. Habits in the past. Okay, the simple past can also be used to describe a habit which is stopped in the past. We usually use used to be perfectly honest. I used to play the French horn. Okay, automatically you can assume that I do not anymore. Okay, to show that it's a habit, we often use words like always or often or usually or never, or entire time clauses like when I was a child or when I was younger. Okay, we can do this. Now, again, we often use used to. It's just very normal to use used to because used to conveys immediately the idea of something that you did before regularly and you don't do it anymore. But you don't have to use used to. You can also use a past simple. Hello, Max. Howdy, howdy. Hi, Max.
Hello, how's it going?
It's going okay.
And I'm okay.
Okay, well, good. All right, let's look at some of these examples. Some of them are not really clear. I studied French when I was a child. That's clear. Now, here's the thing. I studied French when I was a child. Does he still study French? Well, maybe. I'm not absolutely sure. Maybe he still once in a while studies French. I don't really know. All I know for sure is that he didn't when he was a child and he stopped. Might he start again? I don't know. Now this next example, he played the violin. That's just all I know is he's done playing the violin. Here, I don't even know if this was a continuous action or if he played the violin one time and never played again. I have no idea. See, without some helpful phrases like always, often, never, I don't really know when I see a sentence or hear a sentence like this. I'm not absolutely sure. All I know is this action stopped. Does this mean he did it repeatedly for a duration, for one time only, and then stopped? No idea. Okay, so these time elements, phrases, and words really help us a lot to clarify understanding. He didn't play the piano. Now, okay, think about it in context. He didn't play the piano what? When he was a child, he didn't play piano at the recital. Instead, he played the trombone. I have no idea. It's quite vague without any time indicators. Did you play a musical instrument when you were a kid? Okay, that's pretty straightforward. She worked at the movie theater after school. When? Yesterday or when she was a child? I don't know. So it can be used to express this idea of a habit in the past, but this is kind of vague unless we're using very clear time indicators. Okay? Usually, we're going to use used to because that's so much clearer. Most native speakers use used to because that's the whole reason we use it, to indicate it is a habit we no longer do. I don't have to say anything. If I say I used to smoke cigarettes, you know that it was a habit of mine in the past. I gave it up. I no longer smoke. Simple. All right, so frankly, this is a use. You got to be careful with this use. You've got to really define it within some kind of expression, or otherwise it's very, very vague. And the last one, use here, past facts or generalizations. Things that are no longer true. It's very similar to the last use. Okay, she was shy as a child, but now she's very outgoing. Oh, okay, well, we've defined it by using this second clause here. He didn't like tomatoes before. For what? We don't really know. I have to assume before now, and that's about it. Did you live in Texas when you were a kid? Okay. All right. It was a fact. Well, it's a question. People paid much more to make cell phone calls in the past. Okay. All right, but not now. All right. Again, I said it a million times. Whatever it is, this action is done in the past. Can you use used to? He didn't used to like tomatoes before. She used to be shy as a child, but now she's very outgoing. Did you used to live in Texas? Yeah, you definitely can. Okay. Used to is not a bad thing. It's not casual. It's not informal. You can totally use it formally, no problem. Okay, I'm hustling us along today because I really wanted to introduce this point to you guys because this is really, really common. When clauses. Okay. Clauses are groups of words which have meaning, but they're not complete sentences. We begin clauses with various subordinators. Let's talk about when we use when. Such as when I dropped my pen or when class began. Okay, these are when clauses. These are really, really common in English when we're telling a story or explaining something or giving reasons. All of those. Okay, take a look here. When I paid her $1, she answered my question. Or I can reverse the clauses. I often can when I have a subordinator. I mean, I always can. She answered my question when I paid her $1. What happened first? Jorge, what happened first in this first sentence?
The action was first. The action
Which
of
action?
pay.
Paid her or
Paid.
she answered? Paid. Okay, how about the second?
Paid.
What about the second one, Jorge?
She answered my question.
Also paid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
also
right.
paid.
That's right. Doesn't matter what order I put it in, the when clause always happen first. When both clauses are in the simple past. Notice both answered, paid. Okay. We use simple past for both. This is a very common sentence construction, and it confuses people for some reason. Okay. However, let's look at this next example. I paid her $1 when she answered my question. Now, she answered the question first, then he gave her $1. It doesn't, whatever you do, the when clause is always first, and this is very common to show sequencing or reasons or for explanations. It's a very common construction. A quick note on adverb placement. All right, you just called Debbie. Adverb in front of the verb. Look at these examples. Always, only, never, ever, still, just. These are adverbs of frequency. How often something happens. Never, only, always, still. Just, as in just now. These types of adverbs may sometimes be possible to move around within the sentence, but it's always correct when you're, at least when you're using them to modify the verb, that is, to put them in front of the verb. Okay, and last thing, I need to show you active and passive. Maybe we can try this. Tom, subject, repaired, the action or the verb, the car, the object noun. In a passive sentence, okay, the action happens not to the car, as in the active sentence. Well, I mean, the subject doesn't do the action happens to the subject. There. The car was prepared by Tom. That's passive. The form is very simple. Past tense, was or were, depending, singular, plural, and then the past tense verb. Past tense verb to be, and then the past tense main verb. Let's actually, can we try this? Let's see. Hello. Can you try a passive sentence?
Passive?
Yes. Use this as an example.
Okay. My brother was bought bought, yeah. New phone. By his friend.
Hmm.
Or
What?
that. By his friend.
What? Wait a minute. My brother was bought by his friend? So your brother is a slave?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, okay. This would mean that your friend owns your brother.
Oh.
Oh, that's not good. What kind of a friend is that? That means somebody, well, by his friend. That means your friend bought your brother. He paid money, now he owns your brother.
How much?
How much?
No,
Yeah.
no.
You got any other brothers for sale? How about this?
Oh, great. Wow.
Okay. Was bought a gift by his friend. There we go. Is that better? All right. We can all sleep better tonight. Okay. Very good. Thank you. Eliza, can you try a passive?
The class was taught by Oakley.
Okay. One had the same problem again, like drive. Teach is irregular. So there is no such word as teach. Taught.
Taught.
That's it. And very good. Class was taught by Oakley. Yes, it was. All right. That works. Okay. Kiko, you want to give it a try?
The book was totally read yesterday morning.
Okay. Say who read the book, and guess what? I don't have a problem with that. We don't. That's in fact why we use passive, because it's not important or it's not necessary to know who did the action, just what or who the action was done to. Okay, good. That was a good example, actually. I'll demonstrate a point. Okay, Hector, give it a try.
The food was burned by my wife.
Okay. Burned. Burned.
Burned.
There you go, with a D sound. Burned by my wife. Good example. And I'm sorry to hear that, Hector.
It is not with T at the end, teacher. Burnt.
Burnt. Ah, okay. Wait a minute. Ah, yes. Okay, right. This is, because this is a regular verb, the past participle, like repaired. Right. Right. Okay, it's actually the main verb is going to be the past participle. I should have made that clearer. Right, the food was burnt by my wife. He's absolutely correct. We have to use the past participle. Thank you for pointing that out. Silly me. This is not really, the main verb is not past tense, it's the past participle. This verb to be actually shows the tense. Actually, in passive forms, the auxiliaries form the tense, and the main verb is always the past participle. I'm sorry, you guys, who didn't get another chance. There was just a lot of me talking today, but I apologize for that. There was just a lot of ground to cover I wanted to introduce you to. But okay, tomorrow, same time, I'll be back with the future simple. We'll go back to the future tomorrow. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
teacher.
Thank you, teacher.
See
Bye-bye.
you tomorrow.
Thank
See
you.
you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow night.
Great.